What's up, y'all? This is Holy Culture Radio, of course. We are live on YouTube as well. So if you want to join us on the YouTube channel, jump on over there because I got my very special guest and friend, Doc Watson, in the studio.
What up?
I'm going to be watching the YouTube as well. Okay, so let me tell you that it's not on exactly yet, but I'm sure it's coming in one momento. So join the YouTube channel and, be a part of this conversation because the brother in the studio with me today is special. If you don't know who Doc Watson is, well, first of all, let me give you some context. We started this a while ago. We called it the Inside View because we wanted to try to give everybody an inside view of what happens inside of ministry and Christian hip hop. And so if you don't know me, I'm James Rousseau, aka Trick, CEO of Holy Culture. But this brother with me, good friend of over 2 decades, is Doc Watson. And I like to call him, people call him the GOAT.
No.
Yes, and CHH. Yeah, brother, listen, you're the non-rapping GOAT. Lecrae's the rapping GOAT, you're the non-rapping GOAT, okay? And so the brother has a decade of running Reflection Music Group, also RMG Amplify. If you think of some of your favorite artists in the space, Derek Minor, Cannon, Byron Juwan, DJ Standout, Danny Apicella, Roy Taj, Propaganda, D1, Thizzle, Brandon P, Curtis Hoppy, Ryan Lamar, Quentin Cobez, Sada K, and more, including recently Don Reddy and Tori Deshawn, etc. RMG and Doc have been a part of that process in a multitude of ways. So welcome to the show again, brother.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you.
It's good to see you. Like we were saying earlier, it's been, last time we did one of these was 2019 or so.
Yeah, it was right before COVID.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Do I sound a little weird?
No, you sound okay.
All right, cool.
You sound weird to yourself?
Yeah, it might just be my headset.
It might be your headset.
Yeah.
Okay. Pull the mic a little closer, maybe, and see if that helps you.
Hello.
Yeah, you sound good. There you go. All right, cool.
But we got together. We did this once, and we were like, oh, we should do like different episodes.
Yes.
And all of that, and we knocked out like 4 in a day or something like that.
Gotcha.
5 in a day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Nashville.
It was right before COVID.
Yes.
That's kind of what.
That was fun.
COVID just messed everything up, man.
Yeah.
It really did.
There's so many pre and post pandemic comparisons you could make.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a lot. It really impacted creativity, music, consumption. Man, it's just so crazy. After about 4 years, that's 4 years, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Almost 4. It's been almost 4, I guess 4 full years.
I mean, 19, so this is 24. We're wrapping up.
I feel like we're just now seeing what that did or how that impacted.
Yeah.
You know, because while we were in it, you know, there was all kinds of theories. Oh, the music's going to go up because people are bored. And it went the other way, actually.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's, So listen, y'all, we're going to talk a lot of things, ministry and industry. I'm going to pull on Doc Watson's expertise, his exposure, his wisdom. He's also beyond some of the things that you see. What you don't see is he's also active member, as am I now, on the GMA, Gospel Music Association, CHH committee.
Yeah.
Help put together the future legacy events. And so he's active in a lot of spaces behind the scenes, helping a lot of people reach their career and career goals, etc. I'm also going to be watching the YouTube channel. So if you're in the live chat and you've got a question for Doc, make them hard. Make them super duper hard. Also, you can hit us on the if you want to text me on the hotline 1-833-RADIO-HC, send a text. I'll watch out for that as well.
I like challenging questions, though.
Yeah, he loves those. He loves those. You know, one of the things that is pre and post pandemic now, again, I just have to say this, bro, you're a father now.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Fatherhood looks good on you. I love it.
Yeah, man. He's we were talking about it before. He's a blessing. You know, like he definitely something turned on in me when we got Micah. You know, I just something that wasn't on in my heart was turned on, you know. So it just kind of changed how I saw things.
Something that wasn't in your heart or turned on in your heart. That's good introspective.
Well, yeah, you know, I'm a veteran and So there's some things you go through that kind of you have to kind of kill.
Yes.
And I think for me, I remember praying one night. This was the first deployment. I remember praying on the plane, like, God, just take all these feelings out of me.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I didn't really have emotions for like the whole time, the first time, you know, and like nothing. Something explode.
You think you're more vulnerable now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely, it pains me to see kids suffer, well, before and after.
Yes.
But
yes.
It's like different now. Like, even if it's fake, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
Right. If there's like a movie and a kid is being hurt, I can't watch it. Yeah. I never really wanted to watch that kind of stuff, but you know, having a child just makes you see everything different, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, you know, speaking of pre and post pandemic, how would you describe what's different for artists from, 2019 and now? What would you say, man, this is so different as it relates to artists and how they manage their careers now?
Man, well, content is big now, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know that. I've seen a lot of artists that were doing great before that that have had a hard time adjusting to the content demand. Then I think we're reaching an era now where it's not as like the robustness of it. I think can come down a bit because people aren't consuming that high now. We're out of they really want the live experience. I think some artists have kind of gotten so used to the content side that they've forgotten, like, yo, this is really about you being in front of the artist or the
being in front of the
fans.
audience. Yeah.
So like that's the real goal. This is just to help them get closer to you. So I think it's it's obviously shaped how we do things. I mean, everything's a lot more virtual now.
Right.
Things are moving a lot faster. AI, I think because of the pandemic, AI probably had a chance to be developed quicker because there was a need for it to be developed quicker during that time. So I think that it's definitely shifted how music's done.
How strong is that content demand? Like, how would you describe it?
Man, it's strong. I know the artists feel that because they got to do a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think you have to do as much. I think you just need to you go shoot a music video, you would be out there all day,
right?
Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 sometimes, right? To get different shots. And music videos aren't as much of a big deal anymore as they used to be. What really matters now is the shorts consumption.
Shorts, yeah.
So like it's almost the same type of work, but you cut it all up, and use different pieces. And I think what we're missing now is there's too much of the performance stuff and not enough like fan building, like not enough like, yo, let me talk to you about something. And Instagram and TikTok have both told me that the lives matter more than the actual just content.
When you say the lives, meaning
like going
live matters more.
Yeah, because it's real time content.
Got it.
Right, and their algorithm just like supports it better. But that's when the fans get like a real connection.
Gotcha.
Right, if you're really talking to them, And I think sometimes you got to remember you're a fan. So look at what you like. Like if you have a choice between an artist dancing around or them talking about something with you, like which one are you gonna? What are you gonna watch first?
How did the art? So I feel like there's generational artists, right? I feel like we have some who've been around for a while, which is a whole nother topic. I think we need to talk about foundational artists, and then we have kind of digital natives. They grew up with it in their hands. Do you see different reactions to the content demand?
From the artists that are used to the old way, I see them having a very hard time with it. I've seen some stuff that looks like a guy that's trying to make a video to make content, and their idea of what that looks like, right? I could tell they're not really looking around and searching too much. So, the trends matter with content. So basically, you could just go look at what's trending and what's going on. Now, mind you, I don't really post content. I just don't really like making content for myself. But, and I 1,000% would never have the time. But for the artist, it's got to be built in. It's got to be healthy. It's got to take people on a journey. I think anything you're doing right now as an artist, even if you're just in a mixtape season, right? You all right?
No, I'm dying over here. I'm good.
I'm telling a lot of jokes.
No, I'm good.
No, Trig's dying. No, but I think when you look at like the journey now in music, it's still the same. The overall concept is still the same. Connect with the fan, right? Connect with the fan,
right?
And how do you do that? And so the content part has always been there. It just used to be the live show or going out at a radio station. It just was different. Now it's like you can literally be your own PR person all day long. So what you got to do is look at what are you trying to get people to get behind? What's the call to action? I mean, right? And where are you taking us? So if it's like, man, I'm just dropping mixtapes. Well, that's cool, but what season is that?
Yeah.
Are you in like a turn up?
Yeah.
We going crazy, or are you in like a mood, or is there a topic overall, arching topic that you're covering? Like, what got you to do this? Tell the story. Give us more. Like, that's what makes you really like artists, right, is the depth of the artist.
Yeah.
And that's another story for another day. We could talk about this some other time, but that yeah.
That's good to know though that the lives are even that much more important. I mean, because I think, well, it's good to know. I think because I'm try to be a student of this thing, but I think the man, for the average artist, I mean, some of the folklore was you need to be posting 2 to 3 times per day, as it was.
They do want that still. You know, it's just that's your performance stuff, right? The 2 or 3 times is like a performer.
Yeah.
And you can see it like the different people that do it. That you could tell they took like 3 or 4 shots. And they just changed like where they sat in the room or or
they had a day of recording. You could see that too, right? They recorded a bunch of content
and it
batch.
Works.
Yeah, it works.
Because all you're trying to do is get one of those to go, right? That's the whole point of that. So at the end of the day, like you kind of still got to do that to a certain degree, especially if you're new or you're in a release season. But ultimately, in there, you really want the whole point is to bring them to you, so that you can connect with them on a different level. And I think what's happened is people have gotten so like focused on the views that the message is not getting to the people as much as you would hope for, right? So that's why at times when there's a frustration with shows, because it's like the numbers don't always equate to the numbers in seats. Like people are following you for all different, entry points. So the ultimate goal at the end of your funnel is whatever that goal is for you is down there, right? So, but this is all what you're doing to get down there. So if it's like music, influence music, whatever, you got to figure out what your priority is, and then you got to build around that, and then brand on that and take people on a journey. And that's what the artists that are really successful right now, that's what they do.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to be successful without doing the social piece? Do you have any examples of they ignored doing it and they still are
Kendrick.
Okay.
But here's why, though, that works is because he has everyone talking for him and PR is moving behind him.
Yes.
Right. But upstart artists, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm sure there's always one. Yeah. Right. There's always somebody.
I'm trying to think of someone in our space who I could say they're killing it. I never see him on social. I'm trying to think of someone who.
I don't want to make anybody mad, but I can't think of anyone.
I can't think of anyone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know Bizzle takes breaks from social media.
Sure.
Maybe
he
Bizzle
takes breaks.
Yeah, but I can't think of,
He's an anomaly though, because he rarely misses with a song. So it's hard to,
he's just talented.
Yeah, he's so talented. So I would hate anybody think they can ride that one, because he's just crazy talented.
That's what I hate is like, I mean hate in a playful way.
Yeah.
But that's what I hate about when someone breaks the code, because what people don't realize is that's probably going to work one time.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's an anomaly. That's someone that broke through. Maybe you could figure out what they did, but at the end of the day, what they really did, in his case, is he built a fan base before all this, that really likes to operate in the more physical anyway, right? So that his base is just, they're just it's a very hard base to grab, and he's got it.
He's an anomaly of sorts. I don't want to dwell too much on Bizzle, but I do think it's important that, again, because a lot of times people see someone and think they can, they should have the same success, or they should follow that pattern, right? And if you think about what he's done, he has songs like Poppin', or what was the one before that? Probably 2 songs before that, where he's able to pack in a substantive, somewhat controversial, and then message with a Christian worldview, and it still have commercial appeal.
Yeah,
that's hard.
Yeah,
that's talent, brother.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's a challenge.
That's talent.
I watched Derek go through that challenge. Derek is very, he's inspired by different things, and so when he's putting music out, like his albums, usually if it's not just a single or something that he's doing, typically it's going a direction. Yeah, he gets this idea, he pulls it together. It's amazing how he does it. Yeah. And then it's like a work of art being worked on as he shapes it out. I don't think he's ever like finished the project. I think he's got to points where he's like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I think he could always add music to his music. So, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're making music with depth, then you don't have to be as, I think, as like aggressive with socials. But I would say this, like, there's 1,000 ways to do it. There's a lot of opinions on how to do it.
Sure.
I'm just one version of that. But I think you got to do what you feel you can do. If you
Right.
can post once a day, post once a day,
Right.
right? And just figure out how to pace your fans out based
Right.
on your content. But the more performance you give them, I think the less it impacts. You feel me? Like
versus a live, more authentic in the day of the day of my life type.
Yeah, I think if it's like a performance, but it's like a performance,
Yeah.
or like an idea, a concept, a video, that's dope, right?
Yeah.
Because you're giving people the live version of your song.
Yes.
That's always cool, and that can run forever. But ultimately, though, you want to give people like, man, why did you write that though?
Right.
Right? Like, what made you do that? And I'll be honest, all the artists that I ever fell in love with when I was coming up, they would get on these radio stations and talk about stuff.
Right.
And if I could tell a quick story.
Sure.
Big Pun, when he dropped like the biggest record ever he dropped, that was during the era of the beef with Pac and Big and the East Coast, West Coast. By that time, Pac had died. Big was still alive. And he came to San Diego when I was in the military, but I was on leave. And I was riding around listening to the station. And he was East Coast, right? Like, they were pretty serious about the East Coast, West Coast stuff back in the day.
Yes, they were.
Especially out West. Like, we were real serious about it. So him being there, connecting with the community, talking about his stories, made everyone like him.
Yep.
Regardless. Because you got a chance to hear him from his own mouth, and that's what makes the difference. No matter what, always. That's always going to be the key.
Yeah, that's good.
And live shows is still the number one way to grow fans. Yeah, you can't beat that. I mean, I'm sure if you were to like talk to Dylan, John, and Ecleso about the tour they were on, they'll tell you that that's what it's about, to get your ideas out in front of people and perform together. I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, I'm not a big show guy. I just never been big on shows. Yeah. And my brother-in-law he went to every show. And ironically, my brother-in-law is black but loves country.
Yeah. Nice.
So, he goes to these shows. And I'm talking about before it was like it is now. Like 10 years ago.
Before Darius Rucker and them were like huge. Well, I guess
no, Darius was
they were huge then.
Yeah, but it was still not as common.
Yeah.
Right. Like now it's like become very common for it to be good for everybody.
Yes.
But it used to be, pretty much my folks. Like
right.
So
are you white?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
For the record.
Of course I know you are.
No, but what's funny is I asked him, like, bro, why do you always go to these shows? He's like, man, and it stuck with me forever. He was like, it's the only time where I feel like I belong, because everyone knows the music. And it just feels like, not in like belong to life, but just belong part of that. Yeah. And he said, like, everyone's having fun, everyone's singing the songs. Yeah. And it's such a dope experience, And I was like, dang, that's true, And so, so for your fans, what they're getting from that is they get to be around other people that love your music and that know your songs. And think about it, when you're not super mega huge, right? Right. Like, it's rare to find people that also like your music and have that in common. Right. So, in hip hop, that's a big part of hip hop. Like, to find someone to put you on to something, the word of mouth is always going to be there. But yeah, the live show, man, it just translates.
You've done a lot of live shows. I mean, you've done, again, like we were talking about, the Future Sounds at Legacy and the Dove Awards pre-event. You've done South by Southwest events. Yeah, tours. Derek did tours. Yeah. You've done tours and whatnot. For that artist who is earlier in their career, what's the right course to take? I know that's a very broad question, but what's the right course?
Start in your city.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, everything you're doing is creating value, right? So if Mitch and I were talking about this the other day, like, if you build, and he's doing this, but if you build a local following and start plugging in around the area, then you can throw a show there. You become valuable to anybody coming through the market. Yeah. Even mainstream. Anybody.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. So if KB comes through with his tour, it's easier for you.
Well, what about if LaRussell comes through?
Yeah. Who?
LaRussell. What if he comes through?
LaRussell,
and he hears about you. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he might hit you up to see if you want to be part of the show, like, because you'll bring people to the show and help fill the room up. Yeah. And so that's a very, very important thing. And unfortunately, we've had those issues in Christian rap where cats haven't really, they've dug into their church, right? But not like the outer community. There's some guys that do, for sure, like, they're definitely are plugged in, and but that's an important thing, man. To be able to have someone hit you and say, "Where could I do a show?" Right, man. You want to jump on it? That's when you're getting started. If you have that kind of pull, like in Nashville, Two Library, bro, they love them. Gotcha, love them out there, like. He is the man.
How
in that
often
city.
does he perform out there in his local area, would you say?
I'd say I think this year at least 3-4 times.
Okay.
But the last one he did, he had the mayor there.
Gotcha.
He spoke. Like, it's crazy, man. Like he's really plugged in,
Yeah.
to his community, and they love him. I mean,
Because it feels different from like,
yeah,
it feels to me like rock bands and other bands can do a show almost every weekend because they're doing covers along with some of their songs. And so it's a different variety of musical spectrum, right? I feel like with rap artists, it's harder to do, but so many in your local area so frequently.
Definitely hard to cover music for sure.
Yeah.
It is tougher, man. It's a different crowd, different mind state. Rock music, you can play the hits. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Go back to the 80s.
Yeah. We got a question.
Yeah.
Doc, are you and or your org associated with programs that train or mentor new and upcoming artists?
So we don't have an official thing like that. We've thought about doing a conference, an amplified conference.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we kind of started building the idea this year.
Yeah. Think it's a 25 thing?
26 probably.
26.
Yeah.
Okay.
We still got to do a couple more things before we do that. But
Okay.
but amplified kind of is that.
Right.
We do teach a lot there, like just showing artists different things and helping them understand like how to get to their money and what publishing is and sound exchange and all that kind of stuff. The heart is to help educate, to empower,
Right.
So that you are stronger and understand what your worth is, right? We don't have any master classes yet or anything like that, but we definitely are working on some ideas. Derek's got he's got a couple of things that he's doing. They got a Discord, the Vigilante Discord, where they do a lot of talking about that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And then he has what do you call it? The Patreon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Derek actually does have something like that.
Derek's another unique one, though. To me, Derek's unique in a number of ways, right? One, he's one of the, I guess he's generation, in the generation 2, generation 3. Like when I think generations at CHH, I think, Jim 1, I think, of course, Mike P, Stephen Wiley, PID, Soup the Chemist, Warriors for Christ. And then kind of Gen 2 to me is like Cross Movement and that. And so towards
I
the
would
end,
say maybe it's
he's early Gen 3, right?
Yeah.
Like Lecrae, Derek, etc. Right?
He would be right in the middle of that.
Right in the middle of that. Yeah. So still from that era though, Lecrae, Tadashi, Tripp, Derek, etc. Not all of them are still standing. There's a lot of other names I would start to roll off that people wouldn't know who they were.
Man, we've seen a lot of people go.
A lot of names, right? And so
come and go.
Come and go. And to me, Derek is, I don't want to liken him to LL Cool J per se, but his ability to kind of move in different spaces, right? Whether it's the, ownership is the new black and talking about things like that, whether it's the, hey, I'm going to be transparent and tell you it's not all good out here and let's be grown up about this thing. Yeah. Like Derek, to me, inserts grown-up conversation sometimes when people don't want to have the grown-up conversation.
Yeah, he has and also just so y'all know, he's part owner of the label. Right? We're co-owners, and he has a lot of say-so in everything we do. So a lot of the direction, concepts, ideas, he's all involved in it. But yeah, he has a unique way of explaining things. And he gets upset, and everything. I mean, but he's just very careful about how he approaches social media. Getting angry and going on social media isn't always the best way to go about things. So yeah, he has been a voice of reason in some of the harder times. Yeah, and that doesn't come easy because he definitely feels the weight of those things.
Got another question for us. So the first question was, just want to tell people too, so acknowledging them, V Matrix 21 with the training mentor question. This is from 10-9 Media. With the rise in Christian independent artists and fighting algorithms, is it possible to see independents end up on mainstream radio without going viral or having a major label backing?
Yeah, you can always get radio. What people don't realize is, and I say this because we didn't realize it, is you can always spend the money, right? Labels just have money and relationships, and that's, we have that. Like, and you can get what you want out of all those things, but you got to be in a deal that allows it, right? So if you come in and you're like, I'm gonna do everything, I just want you to help me get my record up, pitch it, blah 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 blah. That's not a deal where you'll get PR and radio on a high level, like So to get like nationwide radio, the last time I checked, was at least $30K, and it might be more because that $30K pays the guy to go work it, and then he might have to put some money up to get you on the bigger stations because they definitely do that, right?
Yeah.
If it's a regional, it's like 10K. So, but here's the thing though, and I literally went to Nima about this at Empire. We had a long convo about radio because we were thinking about it, and he said, "Man, to be honest with you, radio is really just a perception thing, a vanity thing." He said, "By the time you get there, the song should be out of here. So that's really like this song went, so now we'll play it."
Yeah.
Because you didn't hear Shabuzi on the radio until you saw him go viral, right? There was a reason to go to radio.
Right.
So radio doesn't really actually work the other way. It used to be put it on radio, it's going to sell records.
Right.
But with streaming, they don't always correlate.
That's to me, it feels different, and and even as a radio guy,
that's not where you want your money spent.
We listen, to be clear, we don't charge to be on radio.
No, I don't mean you.
Yeah.
I mean like doing like a nationwide thing.
No, exactly, nationwide thing. We don't charge to be on radio, but we reach several million listeners, right? And so we not only don't charge to be on radio, we take records directly from artists, right? We don't make you necessarily come through a promoter. Now, I know for some promoters that bothers them because maybe we're messing up their business a little bit. However, part of how we think about it is, look, man, we want to make sure we can democratize this as much as possible, right? Now, that does put an extra strain on us, by the way, because sometimes one of the things promoters do very well is do pre-filtering of the content. So that's another thing to promote. So if you ever want to understand, well, why do promoters charge so much? Just think of how many releases come out every Friday. And so people are pitching things to them to carry, and they're filtering through it. And they've also built a trust relationship with the radio programmers that they know when Josh brings this, he's already filtered through it, right, to make sure it's worth his time. So that's why promoters do what they do. But the other thing I would say is, to your point, I think, eras ago, a lot of record sales were driven top down. And now the game's changed. Yeah. So much is bottoms up. So much is in the hand of the artist.
Yeah. And a lot of the things you see happening are vanity.
Yeah.
Vanity things that you do when it
feels good.
Yeah. Well, you got to do those things as part of your, if you have when you're first starting out in music, it's not really like PR. It shouldn't be something you worry about. Radio, don't worry about that. Instead worry about brand building and your message and your fans.
Yeah.
What I can tell when someone is just doing the fluff thing, when they're going out and getting all the other things, because I don't see any emotion. Right? The thing that labels look for is motion. They're looking for fan interaction, how your music performs with that.
Right.
Does it correlate with your posts? They look at all that stuff. They pull all that stuff up on chart metrics and start looking at everything.
Yeah.
Just like that. Your monthly listeners will get someone to raise their eyebrows to go do the research. And then they go dig into how you getting those numbers and what you're doing to push those numbers. And, they can tell when you're being floated by somebody else. I mean, you can fool the fans, but you can't fool the industry.
Can't fool the industry. Yeah. No, that's good.